Hello internet, howdy crowdy, it's Chris 16-bit here, and yesterday I dropped my bike. So I was in my garden at home. I don't have a garage or workshop, so I was in my garden and I was just doing a bit of maintenance. I was cleaning my chain at the time, and I don't have a centre stand on this bike, annoyingly, and I don't think there's an option of one, and I don't have any paddock stands, so to maintain my chain's a bit of a faff, but all I was doing is degreasing it and lubing the chain. So I tend to do that just by kind of get it out in the garden, give the chain a clean that I can see with my little brush and various kind of spray-on products, etc. And then I just wiggle the bike, I move it forward and back a bit and repeat the process. And that generally works, keeps the chain in pretty good shape. So I was doing that, and I was sort of sat at the back of the bike scrubbing the chain, and I have an old, it's like a toothbrush really that I scrub it with, and I was doing a bit of that, and then I thought I need to move the bike forward, and I just kind of slid it forward along the garden like I've done before, and I was getting a bit cocky maybe, and as I was doing it I just heard a kind of a ping, and I just saw the side stand pop itself back up. So basically I just saw this I moved it forward, the stand got caught I guess on the ground and kicked itself back upwards, so basically just disengaged the side stand. So, and I wasn't in a position to kind of get underneath or to stop the bike, and it just kind of crunched down on its left hand side, just out of my fingers, just out of my grasp. So it was super frustrating, and it seemed to happen in slow motion. I think there was a bit of a Star Wars no moment. It was horrific. I don't really like talking about it because it's kind of I'm picturing it again in my head. And then there was that horrible moment where I was like, I knew I had to pick the bike up, and I just thought, what am I going to discover? Is the tank going to be dented? Have I broken a fairing or some of the plastics? So I got the bike back up, had a look around, and I thought, hey, I've dodged the bullet. It looks to be okay. The only thing I noticed I damaged was this mirror, which you might be able to see I've mended with some sellotape. That's a quick fix. And they were aftermarket mirrors anyway. They were cheap on eBay. I think I paid 10 quid, 13 quid. I wasn't too concerned. I thought, if that's all that's damaged, I've got off lightly. But then I noticed that the gear shift pedal was severely bent into the frame. So much so it was kind of caught against the gear linkage, and basically the bike was stuck in neutral. You couldn't move that pedal. So lots of swearing and faffing around. I removed the pedal, and using my limited facilities was trying to straighten it with a kind of a rubber mallet basically. Managed to straighten it a bit, put it back on the bike, still not great. But then I found a fantastic kind of quick fix bodge YouTube video, which I shall link to in the description below, which definitely saved the day, which basically involves kind of popping a long-handed screwdriver or tool between the frame and your bent gear lever, then using a claw hammer against the screwdriver that you've placed, sort of protecting the frame as a pivot point, to use the claw hammer and a bit of muscle to kind of reshape, to pull the lever out, and it absolutely worked. It worked a treat, so much so that the pedal's working fine, and it doesn't really look like anything's happened. It looks like the original shape again. It's a fantastic video. It definitely, as I say, saved my skin. So thank you to that YouTuber. I shall search that video and link to it in the description, because it was a massive lifesaver. So I thought I got away with it, but and I rode to work today, and in the garden, I guess the heat at the moment, I couldn't really see anything else. I was looking for scratches on the fairing and on the tank because it went on its side. But today I've realised this is quite damaged, like the front nose piece. So I don't know if you can see, but there's a much bigger gap this side than that side, and there's a massive crack in that, and I didn't notice it until today looking at the bike. My aftermarket screen seems to be okay, but it's more where the mounting brackets are and the little underneath screen, the kind of the black piece of plastic that's on the bike, is cracked and is damaged. So annoying, because I really thought I'd got away with it lightly, and I guess I still have in the grand scheme of things, but I don't know how expensive that little piece of plastic's going to be to source. And I imagine, because all the mounting points seem to have moved significantly, that maybe there's a metal bracket, something that connects to the headstock or where the headlight is somehow. Basically, wherever they mount, I'm guessing, is also deformed and bent, so that's sort of annoying. dropping a bike is always going to be annoying. It's just doubly annoying. It's the first new bike I've ever had. I've never dropped a bike before, and I've had bikes since the mid-90s. 1996 was when I got my first bike. Never dropped a bike in all that time. The only time, well, I have dropped one is when I fell off a 125 once, kind of on some ice, but I'm not counting that. But this is just a silly, you know, when you see people dropping them on gravel drives or in car parks. Just did it in my back garden, and it was my own fault. I've got no one to blame. I was just being a bit lazy, really. I should have sat on the bike, moved it forward, put the stand back on, checked it, but I just shimmied the bike forward and then watched it drop on the floor. Super annoying. I want to get crash bars or bungs for the bike. It's something that's been on my list. Just haven't had the money. And I don't know if they would have made much difference in the fall, because as I say, it was only really the front of the bike and my pedal that's suffered. But yeah, dropped my bike, so first time it's happened. It had to happen at some point, but yeah, just annoying. Very angry at myself over it, and I imagine I will be for some time. Also, the mirrors, annoyingly, I paid £10, so I thought I'd buy some replacement mirrors yesterday, and I know that I paid like not much more than £10 for them. I found them in my kind of purchase history on eBay. But now I don't know if it's a post-Brexit thing. I couldn't find them for cheaper than 20, so again, it's not expensive in the grand scheme of things, but paying, you know, the price has doubled in less than 12 months. That's annoying. And that's it. Gonna stop loading. Dropped my bike, got off with it lightly. I might show you some footage of the front of the bike, because I'm going to investigate that when I get home. These things happen. I think most of us at some point are going to drop a bike. I know my dad's, I think, cracked a fairing on the Fireblade. I think he dropped that on a gravel driveway. I know lots of people have, you know, left disc locks on or bikes chained and had drops, mishaps that way. But yeah, put your dropping experiences in the comments below, and we can all you know, share our shame. It might be therapeutic for us. But yeah, I feel like a proper plum, and I'm angry at myself, and I was feeling kind of smug yesterday because, as I say, I thought, oh, I got away lightly. I bent the pedal and managed to you know, bodge it back, and I thought I've got away with it, you know. But no, sadly, it wasn't just the mirror. I don't know how I managed to damage the front so badly. As it was, as I say, I just kind of laid down gently on its side, really. I guess I'm getting to know my bike a little bit better now. I'll be taking the front kind of, I don't want to call it cowling, I don't really know. I guess it's like a windshield. It's like the factory windshield, the little black one underneath. I don't know if I'll be able to like bend it back. I don't know how much damage really, and how strong the brackets are underneath. But I did have a quick go at work, and I couldn't. Probably best not to try and do it whilst I'm riding. Poor little bike though. It was in, you know, I've been looking after it so well. So I have taken off the aftermarket screen and the original cowling that was here sitting at an angle, and the reason for that was this bracket here. So it kind of popped out with the plastic here and somehow kind of rotated around, so I just had to loosen off this bolt, get it back to where it should be and fasten it, and actually it seems to be back to normal now, so that's good. The only annoying thing is the crack in this piece, the kind of the cowling that sits here. I have tried to glue, but it's really obvious, that crack. That's annoying, so I'm probably going to need to replace this part. And I've also noticed, if you look around here, there is a little crack just where the headlight it's just kind of creeping up here. There's a bit of pressure on this piece of plastic. So there's a little crack there, about an inch long. Kind of annoying is whether or not I learn to live with that as it is, that crack, for now anyway. But I'll probably replace that part. I've looked on Kawasaki parts online, and these are both, this piece and this piece, are about £50 each, which is annoying. So it's whether or not I just replace this piece and leave this for now, or if I replace both, but it's expensive. I did try and glue this, you can see a little bit of glue in there, but I just couldn't really get it to hold, and I think if I took it apart and tried to glue it, it's still, I think there's just a bit of kind of pressure. This piece is under, so it's going to be hard to fix that. It's just annoying, but I still feel I got off quite lightly, really. Yeah, probably I think what will happen is I'll try and get a replacement one of these. I did wonder about kind of trying to fill and sand and paint this black, which I might do even if I buy a replacement just as a spare. I have seen carbon fibre ones of these online for about the same price as the original. So that's the damage assessment after the drop, really. There's a little crack there. This is annoyingly damaged. The pedal, actually, as I say, I managed to bend back and it functions fine. It looks fine. Apologies, my dog whiffing in the background. But there are little marks on here just from where I kind of had to reshape it with a mallet a little bit. It's not too bad. That I could probably just paint. Not expensive to replace, really. I think the actual lever's about £20, so that's something I could pick up one day, but I'm not in an urgent hurry for it. One day maybe some new rear sets anyway, which will include that. So that's fine, I'm happy with that. This, I can't decide what to do. As I say, it's just about £50, so it's not cheap for that little crack up there. This piece I think I'm probably going to have to replace, but at least, you know, it wasn't awful. When I saw the screen and everything at this angle, I thought, oh god, brackets could be bent, or how does this front end work? Is it starting to become more of a major issue? But fortunately, no. This had just kind of popped out and twisted round, so it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. But still really angry at myself, and it's just one of those really annoying things, really, that I've really been looking after my bike, and then to kind of drop it in the garden. Super annoying.